Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked. By the way, just got in town, and I won't let kill me this smile. Dark in the sky, who am I? You have only option to do this all day, but this cruel isn't an option. I don't know the words. Baby, I wonder. Baby, I wonder. I got talking late night fire. Let me look back down. Don't hesitate, don't. Just say you will. Come through and chill. Yeah, yeah. Just say you will. Come through and chill. I'm just so excited about my intro, y'all. What is up? What's up? Welcome to Earth is School. How are you, my loves? Come in, come in. Kaifi. I wanted to listen to something else today. Kai, come in, come in. Vion. How is everyone? Where are you listening from? Show your girl that you are here. Show me some love. What's up? What's up? Let me see those thumbs up. Let me see that you guys are in here in the building with me, ready to have an amazing episode. Ready to vibe out with me for these next 30 minutes, 40, or an hour. What is up? Welcome, you guys. Welcome to Earth is School. I'm so happy to see you guys again. Another day. I don't even know how many days in a row this is, but your girl is on a roll. I'm excited. I am so excited about what the future holds for Earth is School, what the present is holding for Earth is School. And I'm especially excited about this episode because we're about to get deep, okay? This is a deep podcast. For those of you who are just tuning in, I am your host, De La Soul, and you are watching Earth is School, a deep podcast, okay? That's the slogan here. It's a deep podcast, okay? We're gonna dive deep. Thank you guys for coming in. So, if this is your first time, then you should know that on Earth is School, we do this deep core breathing, this really good, needed spinal cord fluid breathing. And this is where we push the fluid up into our brain for the third time today because it naturally, automatically happens twice a day already. And so we're doing this manually, and it's giving your brain nutrients while also opening and strengthening your core and letting things go from the day that you as a vessel have been holding on to. All right, so we do this on 3. You're going to breathe in and you're going to push your navel to your back. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in. Suck it in. Pushing your navel to your back. In, up. Hold it. And release. And release. And then we're going to do that again. I need to put this on another playlist. We're going to do it one more time. This time we are going to use more strength and more pull. We're opening up your core. We're strengthening your pelvic and prostate areas. Doing all this at once while also letting go of what you've been holding on today. All right. Sorry, y'all. I want to find a different playlist so I don't have to pay so much attention to this. And I think this is the one. All right, on three, 1, 2, 3. Breathing in. Breathing in, breathing in. Breathing in. Hold it and release. Good job. Almost had you holding it for a second. Oh, I wish I knew which one of these are truly copyright free. So you guys, today's episode is going to be amazing. Please let your girl know that you're in the building. Before we get started, I need to see who was up in here. I just really should have made this. Yes, I want to see who is in here, who is ready for today's episode. Let me know where you're listening from. Thumbs up, thumbs up. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, Rox. Hey, hey, hey. All right, I'm going to put it back on this one because this is safe. All right, y'all. So what is up? Let your girl know that you are in here, ready to get into it. Today's episode, why do I act like I don't be knowing the episode right before I start? Ooh, I know. Today's episode is going to be about people that do things that hurt you or offend you, and it's just not their intentions. It just wasn't their intentions to do this. If you have had an experience with someone and you came to them and you said, hey, this is what it is, you have done this again, you're making me feel this certain way. And if they, with their kind, open heart, genuine heart, say, I'm sorry, that was not my intention. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what that means when we normally see that and what you should do. So, I have a title for this, When People Don't Mean To. That's the title of this episode, When People Don't Mean To. So, watch out for people who often didn't mean to. When you express something to someone and they say, that was not my intentions, or I had good intentions, and we accept that. But this could be a red flag, and if it happens loosely or more than once, it most definitely is a red flag. So this is not when you offend someone and genuinely you don't mean to. Okay, this is not that scenario. That's a difference, and you can feel the difference in that. People can feel the difference. This is more so if it's a situation that it was such a big deal, like something that was just like, this is really obvious. Like, it's not about you didn't mean to. And if it's something that happens multiple times, if you find yourself resetting up boundaries or coming to this person, okay, you're doing it again. This is the thing that I was talking about. And then they're just like, I just didn't mean to. I just didn't mean to do that. Those were not my intentions. So here, this is a narcissistic behavior for sure. As we all display, you and I, we all display narcissistic traits at some point in our life, one way or another, because this is a narcissistic world and you just can't avoid it. So people say that wasn't my intentions, to continue to appear good and harmless while continuing to do the thing or worse than they unintentionally did. So the thing is that you got to be real careful when you run into this scenario, because it's not your job to hold on to people's intentions. Like, people's intentions have nothing to do with you. That's a personal thing. Everyone is accountable for their own intentions. So it's not your job to hold up their end of their intentions, if that even makes sense. We'll get into it. So people's intentions have nothing to do with you. You are not the keeper of other people's intentions, only yours. Intentions are a personal thing, and they belong to each and every one of us. So the thing is, like, what does it even mean when someone says, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intentions? Okay, like, what now? Because if you get into the habit of forgiving this person and forgetting what they did because it wasn't their intentions, it's like you have to always be the one suffering or getting the short end of the deal because they did not mean to, because it wasn't their intentions. But what can I do with your unintentionality? What can I do with that? If you're doing things and they are disturbing my peace or messing with my energy or hurting my feelings or whatever, and it's just because you don't mean to, where do I stand with that? So am I just like this big punching bag? Am I just someone that's just supposed to take this? This is the kind of stuff that you have to ask yourself, because I think that we really go with that. We really go with, well, they didn't mean to. And the majority of times, it's not about a person's intentions. That doesn't, like, intentions should not forgive a person for, and when I say forgive, okay, let me back up, because we got to forgive everybody, right? Forgiveness is not about the other person. But it definitely should not give them a pass to continue to be their unintentional self, to continue to not have intentions, not have bad intentions, basically, okay? It shouldn't give people a pass. And I think that we do that too much without really read in between, I didn't mean to do that, or that wasn't my intention. Read in between that, especially if it's something that you've had to bring to this person more than one time and it's just still not their intentions. It's just not what they mean to do. Like, what does that mean? So you didn't mean to. So now what? I shouldn't have to suffer due to someone's non-intentional ways and thinking just because someone didn't mean to. People who don't mean to are unintentional people, and you should stay clear of people who aren't aware of their intentions. So that is the bone that I have to pick with people that are doing things and they don't have this, it wasn't their intention. Because it's like, what can I really do with that? I cannot be the person, like, because you are not aware of your intentions, I am not supposed to be the one at risk all the time. My feelings should not be at risk. The safety of my mental state, keeping my sanity. So you mean to tell me that because you do not mean to do things, I have to be in on the train track way of just anything? I could just get hit anytime by you, by this train, because you just don't mean to. So people who don't mean to are people who move without thinking, okay? This is unintentional. This is what you don't have time for. You don't have time for unintentional people. So they are unintentional. Therefore, you cannot be upset when they don't respect your boundaries or gaslight you or hurt your feelings, etc. You can't be upset. If you continue to allow a person that is doing things and they don't mean to do it, you can't even, like, you might as well just chalk it up, because this is a person who you know doesn't mean to do it, right? This is a person who you know is just not what they mean to do. So you need to decide if you're going to keep on standing in the way of their unintentional ways, or if you're going to be like, okay, no, I can't do unintentional people. So let's see. The other thing that is really important when it comes to people that have a habit of saying, I didn't mean to, that wasn't my intentions, is to know that you have to believe how people are. You have to believe how people are. People saying it wasn't my intentions, I didn't mean to, it's saying, it's words, it's nothing. But their actions is what's going to show you what their intentions truly were, and if they are unintentional or not. So believe how people are when they show you how they decide to treat you. Don't go off of their intentions. Go off of how it made you feel. So don't go off of a person's intentions. Go off of how they made you feel. Because again, it's not your job to be the keeper of other people's intentions. So in order to protect yourself, you have to not go off of that. You have to be a little bit more discerning, and you have to be able to say, okay, this is a person who clearly is not intentional. So what am I going to do? Like, that means that, I mean, if they're not intentional with you, they're not even intentional with themselves. That's the truth. If someone is not loving you, they're not loving themselves. So it's the same thing. They can't be a person cannot be something for someone else that they are not to themselves. Even when it comes to loyalty. Of course, the dog wants to be in the show. So even when it comes to loyalty, you can't expect someone who is not loyal to you, they're not going to be loyal to themselves, and vice versa, right? So believe how people are with you and what they show you. Don't go off of what they say, go off of how they make you feel. So going off of someone's intent is going off a person's potential. And we don't date for potential anymore, right? We're not dating for potential. We're not doing friendships for potential. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe that's where you are in your life. But for me, I was doing that in my 20s. In my 20s, I actually really thought that you were supposed to go off of people's potential. I thought that when you see potential in someone, that was a great thing, and that you should connect with their potential because you know that they have potential. And maybe in your 20s, that is what you're supposed to do. But there comes a time as you grow and you learn, and you're just like, you know what, I'm done with this potential dating, or with this potential with these potential connections. So going off of someone's intent is going off the potential that they have. And if you are not on that level anymore, where you're dating or friendshipping for potential, then you want to make sure that you are not going with intent. So protect yourself from unintentional people. Why? Because when you don't, you end up hurt. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. When you don't protect yourself from unintentional people, you end up scarred. You are the one that ends up hurt by someone that did not mean to. Okay? So, how do you do this? How do you protect yourself from unintentional people? Don't make excuses for them. Don't make excuses for people that don't have that. It's not even that they don't have intentions. It's that they are not aware of their intentions. And sometimes they are, but they're just unintentional. You see, sometimes a person can be innocently, totally not aware. But is that your job to stay in that connection because this person is totally unaware of what they're doing? No, that would be crazy. That would be unsafe for you to sign up to do that. That is the definition of someone being unintentional. And then there is people that totally do know in a sense, but they're just kind of like, okay, this isn't, they're not really good at putting themselves in your position, things like that. Again, it still comes down to being an unintentional individual. So remember that you aren't willing to suffer behind someone's unintentional ways and being. This is another way for you to protect yourself from unintentional people, is to remember that as great as this connection is, as much as we have planned, as much as I laugh with this individual and I love this individual, I am not willing to settle being around, like, I don't even want to be around you if you're unintentional. Because what it means is that when you're dealing with unintentional people, this is really the gist for me personally. I have a problem with something that I feel like is a natural thing in life, which is how many times I have to tell an adult how to treat me, how to speak to me or not. I think that all of us have to deal with this, right? You always have to face the music and correcting someone on how they're treating you and how they're being with you, right? So since that's already a thing in life, I want to illuminate that as much as I can. I want to, I said that the wrong way, eliminate. I want to eliminate that as much as I can. And so if I'm around an unintentional person, that automatically means I'm going to be talking to you more times than I need to. I'm going to be setting up boundaries with you more times than I need to. I'm going to be correcting you and telling you how you should and should not treat me, how you should and should not talk to me. And this is a draining task for me as an adult, okay? I like to tell kids how they should be speaking and doing and being. I don't enjoy doing this for other adults. And I feel like unless you are being passive or passive aggressive, then this is a normal part of life. So in order to avoid this and minimize the times that you have to come to somebody and say, hey, okay, look, I didn't like the way you made that joke about me that you were really serious about. Or I don't like the way you keep on saying this to me, or the way you yell at me, and yada, 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 yada. Okay? And it's up to you if you're going to decide to continue to converse and be around this energy that is they're almost like out of mind with it. Like, you can't convince somebody to be more intentional with you. Ladies, I know we think we can. I know we think it's our job to send long paragraphs, long text messages, write letters and notes and stuff, and do a bunch of expression to try and convince somebody where we should be with them, like how they should be treating us. But the truth is that the majority of us, as much as neuroscientists say that half of us do not have our inner dialogue, is the same, like those numbers match with the fact of how many people are unintentional. Because being intentional is having your inner dialogue. It is being aware of what you're doing, how you're treating people, how you are, if you are treating this person like you would want to be treated, things like that. So you really take a risk being around people that are unintentional. A lot of times you can be around someone who's unintentional, and even when you confront them, like, the light bulb doesn't go off. Even when you're telling them, this is what you're doing, this is what I need you to do, it doesn't even work. So it's really stressful. It can be really draining. And it's just a setup. It's just a setup for disaster. Especially within Black men, people expect you to take the rude jokes, or else you're soft. Most definitely. Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. Somebody will hit you with the, oh, you in your feelings real fast. And I was gonna say I hate when people do that, but I love when people hit me with the you're in your feelings thing. Because yeah, this is a feeling world. Feelings is vibrations. Feelings is mood and emotion. It's the one language that nobody had to teach anybody. You come here born, before you're even born, you're operating on feelings, which is vibration. So absolutely I'm in my feelings because I'm intentional and I'm paying attention. I know what's going on. I know how you make me feel. So most definitely, I can be whatever you want me to be. It's like my dad told me years ago when I was in my early 20s. I was going through a lot with my ex-in-laws, and I was so like, oh my God, what a time. Because I was so just, you're young and you just care about what people think, and you just care about if they look at you in the wrong way, and you just don't want anyone to judge you and construe you and stuff. And I will never forget my dad saying to me, Dayla, like, whatever somebody says that you are, you be the best that they say. You be the best that they say. So if I'm going to be soft or sensitive or in my feelings, baby, then that's what I am to you. Like, I can't change your mind. This is not my job to change how you feel and what you're seeing from me. And a lot of times people are doing that as a form of gaslighting. They just really don't want to be accountable. They don't want to admit that what they did was unintentional, that it was painful, it was hurtful, that if the situation was reversed, it wouldn't be the same story. So be careful about being around these kind of people, y'all. I don't play no games. You better ask about me. I will call you up and be like, hey, you haven't been intentional enough. I don't want to be your friend anymore. I can't be connected to you anymore. It's nothing personal, but this is too much for me. You're not intentional enough. Because I just can't do it. Like, I got to raise my kids. I got to raise myself. Okay? I got to live this life to as much ease that I can, to my ability. So adding on, like, me agreeing to be in a connection with someone who was unintentional, it means that I am taking on another task. And that's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy. So absolutely not. No, no, no. If you cannot be intentional enough, if there's things like, I'm not expecting for a person to know everything that is going to offend me or that could hurt my feelings or something. It's not that level. It's not that level. I don't even think that this part needs to be said, because you really know. You might be in denial sometimes, but you really know when a person is being unintentional with you. Like I said, if you're repeating yourself, if you're resetting up boundaries, you should never be resetting up boundaries. Boundaries are supposed to be set up one time. Seriously. So you should never be repeating yourself. It should never be okay, this is what I'm talking about. Remember when you hurt me this way? And just really be careful from people saying I didn't mean to. When people say this to me, it is scary now. Like I really have to like pan out if it makes sense or not. If this is really someone coming from a genuine place, because sometimes you really don't mean to and you just really didn't know. And then there are the majority of us that are just unintentional. Mosley in the house. Hey, hey, hey. He said, great discussion, sister. Keep up the great work. Your message is on point. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So yes, be very careful with unintentional people. I don't know how we got caught up in this. I guess like no one taught us, no one told us, but it's like you hear someone saying, especially if you're not used to this individual or people admitting their faults and acknowledging, it's really manipulative because it looks like someone is admitting and acknowledging. When you come to someone and you say, you have hurt me in this way, and they say, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe they don't even use the word sorry, but they say, I really didn't mean to do that. That sounds like someone that is being accountable. But you have to be careful with that. It's very manipulative. So the last thing that I wanted to mention is that the road to hell was paved with good intentions. My homegirl reminded me of this saying. Is that the scripture? I don't know if that's a scripture. It should be. But my homegirl reminded me. I know it's a saying that people say. I think it's a saying, actually. I kind of started to look it up. It's a saying that came from like the old, like, I don't know, the 1800s or something. It's actually a really old saying. And yeah, it just goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I love this saying because it shows you how much good intentions don't matter. Your intentions don't matter. Like what you intended to do, what someone intended to do with you versus what they actually did. Come on. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't. And a true accountable person knows this. Someone who is truly accountable is like, damn, like, I didn't mean to do that, but I did. I messed up. Let me fix this with change behavior, not with words, right? So remembering that the road to hell was paved with good intentions. So many of us have good intentions, but what is your intent if you are constantly hurting someone? If you're constantly abusing someone, what is it? When I say abuse, I mean like in all forms, not like physical abuse. So that concludes our episode for tonight, guys. Please share with me anything that you would like to share. If you can relate to this topic, if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask, please let me know. Please thumbs up this episode if this was a good episode for you, if you got some insight from this. If you feel that someone else could get some good insight from this, then share this episode. Share this podcast. Let YouTube know that Earth is School is lit. Okay? That we are over here being intentional. I always say that. Like, intentional is like my favorite word. Like, seriously. I don't even like gentle parenting. I like intentional parenting. You can just use this word for everything. Intentional cooking. Cook intentionally. I actually used to say this all the time. Like 11 years ago, I used to be like, you need to cook intentionally. Cook with the mindset or the goal of eating healthier. It's intentional cooking, right? Go about your relationships. Go about your day intentionally. Why not? If you're not going about your day and doing these things intentionally, then you're doing it by default. If you're doing it by default, then you are just a train wreck waiting to do its thing. You're just out here emotional, all over the place, going off of what you feel at the time, creating illusions and things, right? Going off of emotion, not intentional. So please be aware of unintentional people and be aware of yourself. Sometimes we are not intentional with ourselves. Are you intentional with yourself? That's a good question. That's a good question. Am I intentional with myself? Oh my God, that's a good question. That has to do with a lot of stuff. That, like, the umbrella of am I intentional of myself, to me, it says, am I disciplined within myself? Am I loving myself? Am I giving myself grace? Am I practicing what I'm preaching? That's what that says. Am I intentional with myself? Right? Absolutely. So again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning into Earth is School. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast and enjoy seeing my face. I have like 4 more days or so before this challenge is over on if I'm going to start doing my podcast in video form strictly, or if I'm going to go back to audio. So let me know what you guys like better. If you guys like to see me, and if you can't see me and you just have to listen, then that's fine too. Eventually it will be both, but I am testing this out. So again, you guys, thumbs up, share. You're so welcome, Rox. Thank you for tuning in so consistently. I appreciate you. You guys, don't forget that Earth is School. If anyone wants to sign up with a session with me, you can do so by emailing me at dayla@womantree.com. For those of you who don't know, I am a quantum healer and a manifesting coach. So I teach people how to go into certain depths of their brains and pull out all types of issues and negative thinking patterns and blockages. I also can help you with any disalignments in your body, any health issues. And I also coach people on how to create the realities that they want with their mind. I have successfully helped people get rid of addictions very quickly. I have helped people just connect with their true self, their true higher self, and who they want to be, changing their emotions, paying more attention to their thoughts, being intentional, raising their vibration, raising their income, all these things. If you've followed me on any of my platforms and you've seen a lot of my reviews. And so, yes, if you're interested, please send me an email and we can talk about how I can help you. Thumbs up, share, share, share. I love you guys. Thank you for rolling with a sister. And peace out.